So,
Three, 2,
1, go. Okay, so this is Hot Wheels Turbo Racing on the N64. If you type in !Cosmic, you'll get a quote about this game from me from the first time I ran this at a Speed Stuff for Charity marathon. I think I've been in every Speed Stuff for Charity marathon so far, so yeah, this game, it's its second appearance in a Speed Stuff for Charity marathon. And like I said, I'm really sorry about the quality, folks. We're just going to try to get through the run and just deal with the fact that, you know, my internet does not want to play and connect to servers anywhere because, you know, streaming services don't have good South American servers. So, you know, that's just the way it is. So how this game works is that it's obviously a Hot Wheels racing game. This is very true, Jets. The game is pretty bad, and that's actually a really terrible mess up right there. The game's pretty annoying to try to control. It controls terrible. You have obviously this turbo, Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Hey, it makes sense, you know. We should have turboing in a turbo game, you know, whatever. And what turbos do is they just take you up to 180 speed. You'll notice that this game actually does not give any units of measurement for what your speed is. It's just like speed, yeah. So we're doing like 170 speed, yeah. So turbo just takes us up to 180 speed immediately, and I phased through that power up. So hitboxes in this game are terrible. Sometimes you can just go through objects without any real explanation as to why. So I just drove through a power up that I was supposed to pick up, which is a shame, because I would be going faster and I picked it up. And I drove right straight through it, because, you know, hitboxes are good. And so a lot of this game's routing is just doing tricks at the right times. So obviously you get turbos based on how big your stunt is. The better the stunt, the more turbos you get. So we do have routed out just about everywhere what stunts to do off which ramp to get the most turbos. Go. So, for example, doing a backflip bomb off there gets us 5 turbos. What turbos do is, since they take you up to your top speed the very frame that you start a turbo, and then your speed goes back down to whatever speed you were at originally at a linear rate. So we try to use turbos every time you're doing anything that would lose your speed, and you'll just automatically go up to the highest speed possible. So whenever we're turning, whenever we're landing, whenever we're going uphill, or because this game is incredibly programmed, whenever you go downhill, you lose speed. Yes. If you go downhill, you lose speed in this game. So, because, you know, it's a good game. Good game. Really good game. Really well programmed. There is actually quite a bit of RNG manipulation that also went on before the run started with how I turned on the console and how my file name is chosen. So why that will be a good thing will become apparent later in the run after this race. So like another minute you'll see what I mean by RNG manipulation. It does exist in this game, and it saves over 12 minutes of time in the run. No, I'm not joking. It saves over 12 minutes of time. So that power-up's gone because I'm starting to overlap other racers, which is annoying. Well, I'm getting close to racers that I could be potentially overlapping soon. but it's alright. Yeah, so like, this guy, get out of my way. Ha ha, I overlapped you. Ha 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 ha. So we got a 720 tornado there. We're coming into the final lap here, final section with very few turbos, but whatever. We want to have no turbos left whenever we finish this race because, you know, every turbo makes it go faster, so whatever. So there we go. So that was our first race done. That was kind of a bad time. Whatever. Let's go through it. So here we go to the second race of the game, and the second race will be the fastest race because we're going to BAP, and that was the second race. So whenever I said there's RNG manip in this game, oh, one card too much. Whenever I said there's RNG manip in this game, what I'm actually manipulating is the overall points that the other racers in this tournament are going to be getting, which allows me to safely get last place in some races and still win overall. There we go, nice little barrel roll through that small opening there. So what I am specifically doing is trying to get a total of 48 points instead of any more than that. So I can get exactly 48 points by winning 4 races in this tournament and losing 2, getting last place in 2. This game also happens to have a nifty feature called abort race, so that as soon as you start a race, you can just abort race and immediately get I also did a little trick there that'll come apparent later, but aborting race, you can do it as soon as the race starts and you automatically take last place in that race. Just automatically. No questions asked. So since I only need 48 points to win and I manipulated how many points the other racers are going to get with my file name, I can safely just abort race out of 2 races, skip 2 of them, and save over 12 minutes of time. So, there we go. Yeah, sorry about the quality issues there, Patrick Power. We're just trying to deal with the fact that you know, no matter what my internet speed is, sometimes I can't connect to any servers because I live in Ecuador. So there we go. So you might have noted that in the second lap of this game, I took a detour and picked up a hidden item. There are 2 hidden vehicles in every track in this game. So I specifically picked up the 3rd best vehicle in the game that we're going to use for almost the rest of the run. There's only going to be 1 race that we don't use it for, which taking the 6 seconds to you know, pick up the power, the extra car saves us a good 30 seconds overall during the run. So go and over, ban. Just do a front flip through that. So I'm on the last lap of this race, and unfortunately, because I did this race too well, I was like overlapping other racers this whole time, and that meant that again I didn't get a lot of power-ups that would have helped me throughout the race. So because I was racing too well and the computers were racing too poorly, I actually lost time. If that makes sense. But, oh well. There we go. Under 4-minute race. That's fine. So now we got 24 points, and we've unlocked the Rockbuster. So we'll go over 5 cars, choose Rockbuster. Whenever you choose anything in the menus, menuing in this game is actually pretty terrible. When the input starts and when the actual thing happens is about a half second apart, and inputs also work in this game so that 1, 2, 3. That's a really annoying trick to do, so I usually count that one down. What ends up happening usually is that you can't just hold the D-pad and it will cycle through the menus. You actually have to click the D-pad every single input you want to do, and then that input won't show up for a half second. What's funny is that the game starts accepting inputs in the black loading screens, or black fade-out screens, before the menus even appear. So you can actually, and what I do is I'm actually trying to get in as much as the inputs as possible when the screen is entirely black, and hope that the menu plays out correctly whenever the menu actually pops up, because, you know, this is a quality game. 2 and 3. There's 4 types of stunts you can do in this game. By far the most beneficial is the backflip, because the backflip takes the least amount of time to complete. There's also spins, like I just did there. There's also front flips, which take the most amount of time to do, and therefore we try to do them as little as possible. They are never seen in the run. There's no point to ever do a front flip, except for swag. Actually, no, there is a point to do a front flip. And there's also barrel rolls. Barrel rolls are a thing in this game. They actually require 2 inputs to do, while every other trick only requires 1 input to do, so just for the sake of my own sanity, we don't do very many barrel rolls, except in situations where, just due to the lay of the level, we can get more turbos for a barrel roll than we could a backflip. Basically, we're always going to do a backflip unless something else will get us more turbos than a backflip. That's how this game works. Also, this track is annoying. But, you know, whatever. And 2. And that only counted as 1 backflip, even though I clearly did 2. Thank you, game. Thank you very much. 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, getting the triple backflip there actually requires you doing a turbo at a very specific point on the ramp, and then starting the backflips is in the first few frames of you coming off the ramp. So, you know, it's all good. So there we go. Backflip. Turbo. Turbo! 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 And turbo up the hill. There we go. We got a double backflip that time. What'd I tell you, game? You know what you're doing on occasion. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, this game has some very bizarre style choices that I've never been able to understand, such as the music in this game. It's even better, the PlayStation version of this game. This game has as its theme song Fuel by Metallica. So on the PlayStation version, where they've got FMVs, it opens up with a Hot Wheels car being played with the music of whatever his face is in Metallica screaming, "Give me fuel, give me fuel, give me what you desire!" Because, you know, somebody sat down in a boardroom and was like, we're designing a game for 8 to 9-year-old boys. What type of music do they like? They like Metallica. Oh, good idea, good idea. Somebody in a boardroom had to think that. Like, somebody in a boardroom thought that. Not only does this game feature Metallica on the soundtrack, it also features Primus. You know, that really experimental funk metal band? Les Claypool, one of the greatest bass players of all time? Yeah, it features Primus. And it also features the Dust Brothers. It's got some very bizarre choices for the soundtrack to this game. Whee! Let's land upside down! Okay, here we go. Metallica. So this is a track that actually features death warping, like a ton of death warping, which you wouldn't expect from a racing game. But if you actually fail a trick, you're supposed to blow up, or you could just reset your car to the last checkpoint. This track is a giant figure 8 loop. So we go to one checkpoint, and while the game still thinks that we haven't fully crossed the checkpoint yet, we hit the reset button, and it resets us to the last checkpoint while we just barely hit the trigger to pass the next checkpoint. So instead of racing back to the start of the level, we just okay, that's annoying. That was a failed checkpoint nip. We confuse the game into launching us back to a checkpoint from previously, while still hitting the next checkpoint, so we don't need to do the ladder section of the figure 8 and just go straight back to the beginning of the track. And we do that every single lap because it saves a few seconds every single time we do it. Get that double front flip. That is actually one of the few places that front flip works better. Like, all the places in this game that a front flip works better than a back flip is in this track. There we go. That was another reset manip to skip a turdy-bout thingy section. I just blew up a car. He just hit me and he blew up, so thank you, game. Yeah, usually if you run into another vehicle, you're going to blow up or they'll blow up. So you hope that the other car that hits you blows up instead of you blowing up. Sometimes it doesn't work to your favor. Sometimes it does. Whatever, it's Hot Wheels. There's no logic here. It's Hot Wheels. We're playing a Hot Wheels game. Fine, reset warp, not work, take away my power. Sometimes whenever you try to reset, the game just does not let you reset your car. I don't know why, but it's already happened twice this race and it's kind of annoying. It's like, hey, I hit 3 cars in a row. And sometimes you blow up, sometimes they blow up, and every single one of them blew up instead, so you know. Nice. And we just barely got through that door in time also. If that door closes on you, you just blow up and die. And it's, like, random if it's open or closed. So, well, it's not entirely random. It opens for the first racer that goes through and then stays closed for the second racer. So, like, there's basically a 50-50 chance every time you try to go through that door that it'll be closed. And a 50-50 chance that it'll be open. So, the door was closing on me, and I barely got through, which is handy. Really handy. Okay, and got that reset warp. This race is quite explosive. Oh, dear me. Did we talk about explosions? Explosions weren't in my contract. Explosions are dangerous, man. I don't like explosions. Okay, there we go. Got that reset warp actually correctly. Thank you, game, for, doing the thing that technically you weren't supposed to be programmed to do, but you do anyway, and it helps me. So, you know, thank you. There we go. Spooky air. Ooh, spooky, spooky skeletons. Our last runner, Death Johnson, probably knows all about spooky, spooky skeletons. If you need any information on spooky, spooky skeletons, I fully encourage you to PM Death Johnson. He's got death in his name, therefore you should know. Hey, he's probably going to be annoyed with me right now. Please DM him about skeletons. So there we go. Under a 5-minute race, that's pretty cool. And here we go to the next race. It's going to be like the second race of this run. We're just going to skip it using the board race trick. So there we go. I got 48. What? I've never seen this before. I literally have never seen that before. That's why I did the entire manipulation. What on earth? Okay, I've never lost. Guys, guess what? Run's dead. That's why the entire RNG manip was put in place. Instead, I lost the cup. I've never seen that happen before. Okay. Run is totally dead.
Hot Wheels Turbo Racing.
Wow. Okay. The run. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen that happen before. Apparently, I did the file names right. The vehicle choices were right. I don't know why the RNG manip didn't work. I'm going to have to now really look into that. I've never seen that happen before. Okay, well, is the next guy online? Because I believe Gonkai's got a super monkey ball run of some sort. It would probably be a good idea to get him up as quickly as possible because, yeah, this run just literally died due to the RNG manip. You can't, because, well, I could do the other 2 tracks that I skipped, I guess. But yeah, I've never seen that happen before. I've done this run a few hundred times. I've never seen that happen before. I could show off one of the tracks that I would normally skip as we're waiting, but yeah, I've never seen that happen before. That's the whole point of the RNG manip. Okay. I'll just start this exposition race, and, you know, as you guys get Gonkai up, you know.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so this is a track that we normally skip, that, you know, for some reason the RNG manip didn't work, so, you know. So we're just going to buy some time. I've never seen that before. Literally have never seen that before. I don't know the optimal route through this track because, you know, we normally skip it. Yeah, but... yeah, just somebody say, the Discord, whatever, you know, Super Monkey Ball is actually up, so I could... Okay. This track is terrible. It's a good reason we usually skip it. It's impossible to get under a minute also, so, you know. Oh, come on.
Crash it and trash it. Dump it and bump it.
I'm just doing a regular race. I mean, I'm not... There's nothing great here going on. And I'm in last place, too, because I have no idea how to complete this track. I'd never do it. So, you know, only quality streams here at Speed Stuff for Charity. Hey, I got a meteor roll. That's nice. It's almost like the meteor. Hey, you know what? That's enough of this track that we skipped. Here, let's see a little bit of the other track that we skipped. That this trick was supposed to work. I don't know why.
Three, two, one, go!
Yeah, so this is the other track. It's got a pretty big skip in it if you're a four-wheel drive vehicle by just like driving into this fence. So, you know, skip fences. That's cool. And it's got another really big shortcut here if you're a four-wheel drive vehicle. It also has a loop that has a gap in it that sometimes just kills you for no good reason. It's also got another shortcut here where you have to slow down a ton to even get on it. But it's still faster because this track is garbage. This also has the worst hidden vehicle in the game. And I didn't have the correct amount of speed for it. You need to land on top of that pillar at the exact right speed and then drive off that pillar at the exact right speed. It's a terrible, terrible one. Yeah, so... Whee! Barrel rolls!
Back off!
Spiral mayhem! Yay! Could Magoo be added to the FFC list? I like this idea, Clever Pigeon. Let's see if I can get this pillar landing correct this time. Hey, no! I got it like a bird, though. Okay, I just blew up randomly because, you know, this game.
Ripping and ripping.
Like walls, hitboxes, you know. And I also got pushed by another vehicle, so now I can't do the path that I'm supposed to do. You know, cool, whatever. You know what? I bet I know what happened. I think I just realized what happened. I don't think I actually got 48 points. I don't think I got 48 points at the end. I think what happened was my last race, sometimes whenever you overlap racers, it confuses the game and gives the win to a computer that actually only completed 5 laps instead of 6. So I think what the game did was it gave... I missed the car. I landed on the first pillar, but did not hit the second. And just gives the win to someone that didn't actually complete the race. And I think I menued too fast, and that's what happened. So, I probably got second in that one race. And, yeah. the last lap of the track that I skipped, and whee! Fly through the air. Whee! Let's see if I get this. Get it! No, I didn't get it. Okay. Yeah, that is the worst hidden vehicle in the entire game, so. Okay. Do. There we go. That's like all that I have left that I can show off of the stuff that got skipped before the game was like, oh no, the RNG manip that's worked literally hundreds of times before isn't going to work today. So. Yeah, let's listen to some Primus. Reverend Horton Heat, you know, it's pretty good. Pretty good band. Pistol. Mixmaster Mike. That's what everybody needs, you know. I don't know who Kelp is, but, you know, the song's pretty rockin'. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm totally done. I was just trying to keep stuff alive.